Okay, the first step in spreader installation is to remove the tailgate. We'll have the front end loader come in. We'll hook the lifting chains on the loader to the chains on top of the tailgate. Samantha's going to be doing that. Then we'll back out of the way, make sure nobody's in any pinch points. Once the chains are secured, we'll put just a little pressure on the tailgate to support it. Put a little pressure on the gate, Samantha. A little pressure on the chains. Now she'll remove the pins. And we're ready to release the dog ears and remove the tailgate using the front end loader. Now that the tailgate's removed, we'll go store it in the proper rack. Okay, now that the tailgate's been removed from the truck, we're ready to back under the spreader. She'll back up to a point. We'll have to stop and match the angle of the bed of the truck to the angle that the spreader is hanging. So she's going to back up using a spotter. She'll stop roughly right around the beginning of the spreader. Okay, now she's raised her bed to match somewhat the angle the spreader's hanging, and we're going to continue to back her on under until she gets all the way to the back. Charles will let her know when she's in the right position. Okay, now that the spreader's sitting in the truck, we're going to have to raise the bed up to create slack on these front chains. And Charles is going to board the truck. There's another guy on the other side. We're going to unhook both front chains and hang them up. He'll board using the 3-point method, and the truck's cut off for safety. Once he unhooks these chains, he'll hang them up, put them in a secure spot. Okay, now the front has been disconnected. The chains are hanging securely. We're going to go through the process on the rear. We've got to let the bed down to create slack in the back chains. At that time, she'll cut the truck off, and Charles will mount using the 3-point method, unhook the chains, hang the chains up, and then the spreader will be sitting in the truck where we'll be ready to pull out. Okay, we now have the spreader on the truck, and we moved it out here in the parking lot to a safer location. Chop's going to get down here and hook up the hydraulic lines for us. It's got 3 lines on this particular unit. Once he gets all the lines hooked up, then we'll do a full test of the spreader and make sure it's in operation. Okay, now Chop's gonna hook up the first hydraulic line. Once he gets it plugged on, he'll also pull back, tugging on it to make sure it's secure. That's another power line for the spinner. Go through the same process, plug it in, give it a tug. The third line would be the return, that's your biggest fitting. The same process, just third step. It's in place. All three lines are now secured. Okay, we now have all the hydraulic lines secured to the truck. It's now time to test the spreader operation. So if Samantha could crank the truck and turn the hydraulics on for the spreader, we'll see if it's working. Okay, she's activated the hydraulics. The conveyor is spinning, the spinner is spinning. Now the spreader is ready to go into operation, so the next step will be to strap it into the truck. Okay, we now have the spreader sitting in the truck. All the hydraulics have been tested. It's now time to strap the spreader to the truck. They're going up using the 3-point method. Charles will hand the straps off to them so they did not have to climb with the straps. Both guys will be stepping back down, and we'll put these straps pulling against each other on the truck. Each strap, the back strap's pulling forward, the front strap is pulling back. They'll tighten them up securely. Once this process is done on this side, we'll repeat the process for the other side of the vehicle. It's now secure. Okay, we're now getting ready to start the calibration process on the truck. The first step of it is to crank the truck up and let the hydraulics warm up for approximately 15 to 20 minutes. We're now going to preset the gate opening somewhere between 1.5 and 2 inches. We need to do that prior to loading the vehicle. Okay, it's now time for the truck to back into position. We're going to load some salt on it so we can start our calibration process.